6 months from now, something small is going to go wrong. And when it does, one of you will already know there's not enough room to handle it. The other one? Completely caught off guard. Because before that moment ever arrives, one of you has already been feeling it, checking the account more often, pausing before small purchases, noticing the room getting tighter week after week. Nothing looks wrong from the outside. Bills are paid. Life keeps moving. Same routine as always. But something feels different, and you can't quite explain what. Your partner doesn't see it, though. To them, everything is exactly the same. So you stop bringing it up. Because how do you explain that a $10 daily habit is slowly shrinking the only space you have left to absorb a surprise without sounding petty or controlling? So you stay quiet. And the squeeze keeps going. By the time both of you can finally see it, the conversation has moved way past money. Hold that thought, because where it goes from here is the part most people never connect. But first, let's break down what's actually happening inside a household before it ever gets to that point. You see, after all your bills are paid every month, whatever money is left over, that's your safety net. Think of it like the air in a tire. The tire looks fine when it's full, but if air leaks out slowly, you won't notice until you hit a pothole and the whole rim bends. That leftover money works the same way. It's not bonus money, it's protection. It's what absorbs the surprise expenses, the flat tire, the emergency room visit, the month your paycheck shows up late. Most couples think if the bills are getting paid, everything is fine, and that's exactly how they miss what's happening underneath. Because that cushion? For most households, it's getting thinner, quietly, a little bit every week, and neither person realizes it's shrinking, because nothing went wrong yet. You won't feel it while life is calm. You'll feel it the second something breaks. And the safety net you thought was there is already gone. Let me show you how simple this actually is. Every household has two kinds of costs. The first kind is locked in: rent, utilities, insurance, loan payments. These don't care whether you had a good month or a bad month. They take the same amount every single time. The second kind moves around: groceries, gas, subscriptions, personal spending. This is where your habits live, and this is where the leak usually starts. When you subtract both of those from your income, whatever's left is your margin, your breathing room. That's the only thing standing between your household and a breakdown when life throws you a curveball. Now here's what most couples don't catch. A habit doesn't blow up your margin all at once. It squeezes it. A little bit each week. The room gets smaller, a little tighter, and because nothing dramatic happened, nobody sounds the alarm. On the surface, everything looks fine. That's the problem. Underneath, the structure already shifted. Your household didn't go through a crisis. It lost the ability to survive one. And that difference is going to become very clear in a minute. Once that breathing room shrinks, you don't lose dollars. You lose choices. Think about it like this. Say a friend offers you a chance to go in on a small business together. Great opportunity, but you can't say yes because every dollar you earn this month is already spoken for. Or your car needs a repair, and instead of handling it, you have to delay it because there's nothing left to pull from. Every dollar is already committed, and some that haven't even arrived yet are committed too. A household with no choices doesn't bend when pressure hits. It cracks, like a branch that dried out over a long summer. The wind that finally snaps it wasn't the problem. The branch had been dying for months. And this is where it gets personal. One of you will feel this pressure first. Maybe you start checking the bank account more often. You hesitate before buying something you wouldn't have thought twice about 6 months ago. You quietly keep track of what your partner is spending. Not to control them, but because the worry has nowhere else to go. Meanwhile, your partner doesn't feel any of this. Same paycheck, same routine, same life. Nothing looks different to them. Now you've got two people living in the same house, sharing the same system, with completely different readings on how close that system is to breaking. And because the spending looks small, because it's a $10 habit, not a $10,000 mistake, the person who feels the pressure starts to look like they're overreacting, so they go quiet, and the pressure keeps building. Let me put real numbers to this so you can see it. Say a household brings in $2,000 a month, combined. After rent, bills, transport, and debt payments, $1,500 is gone. That leaves $500. That's everything. That's the entire safety holding this household together. Now one partner picks up a habit, ordering food every day, A regular shopping pattern? Maybe both. About $10 a day. $10 a day is $300 a month. Remember that number? That $500 cushion? It dropped to $200. No job loss. No reckless spending spree. A quiet daily behavior erased 60% of the safety net. Now zoom out. What does this actually look like over time? Month 1. Nothing feels different. The habit is new. Things are already a little tighter, but nobody notices. Month 6. Tension shows up. One partner starts noticing. The other doesn't. Conversations about money get shorter, or they stop happening altogether. Month 12. There's nothing left to absorb a hit. Every surprise feels like a crisis. Every money conversation carries weight it never used to. The habit didn't change, but the foundation underneath decayed month by month, while both partners lived what looked like the same life on the surface. So pause for a second and ask yourself, what happens when the real surprise hits? A car breaks down, a medical bill shows up, a family member needs help, a paycheck arrives late. With $500 of cushion, the household takes the hit. It's tight, but it holds. With $200, the household borrows, delays a bill, pulls money from something that was already committed somewhere else, and now it's not tight. It owes itself money. Same income, same house. One person is already in trouble, the other has no idea. Now here's where it stops being about money. And this is the part most people never talk about. When most people picture money problems in a marriage, they picture the big argument, the fight over a credit card bill, the tension after someone bought something expensive. But the real damage doesn't happen in the argument. It happens in how you start to see your partner. When one person watches that cushion disappear month after month, and the other person doesn't change anything, something shifts. It's not anger. Not at first. It's quieter than that. It's the moment you stop trusting how the other person makes decisions. And not about money, about everything. Because if they can't see what's happening to the system you both depend on, if they can't feel the pressure you've been carrying by yourself, what else are they missing? That question never gets asked out loud. It sits there, it builds, and it rewires how you relate to each other. The relationship stops feeling like a team. It starts feeling like a risk. You stop planning together. You stop dreaming together. You start protecting yourself inside your own marriage. Two people still sharing a household, no longer heading in the same direction. And here's why most couples don't fix this, even when they can feel it happening. We'll circle back to the trust part, but stay with me here. The habit feels too small to bring up. You imagine yourself saying it. Can you stop ordering takeout? And it sounds petty. It sounds controlling. So you don't say anything. Or you tell yourself more money will fix it. A raise, a bonus, a better month. You convince yourself the cushion will come back on its own. Or you skip the conversation entirely because talking about money already feels heavy, and you don't want to turn a quiet Tuesday night into a fight. So the squeeze continues, not because nobody noticed, but because noticing wasn't enough to make it stop. And by the time the argument finally happens, it's not about the habit anymore. It's about the months of silence, the months of carrying the pressure alone, the months of wondering whether your partner takes any of this seriously. That's not a money conversation anymore. That's trust falling apart, and most couples never trace it back to where it actually started. The habit itself was never the real problem. File that away. Daily takeout, convenience spending, buying things after a tough week because you feel like you earned it. None of these look dangerous by themselves, and that's exactly why they work against you without you realizing it. Because the danger was never the dollar amount. It was what that dollar amount quietly took away. That's what that margin really is. It's the space that lets a marriage stay a team instead of turning into two people playing defense against each other. And when that space is gone, every small problem becomes a test. Every surprise bill becomes a question of whether this partnership can actually hold. By the time people try to explain what went wrong, they're already pointing at the wrong moment. But the emergency didn't break anything. The system had already failed. It just exposed what was already true. A marriage doesn't collapse because of one bad moment. It collapses when there's no space left to absorb one. And the difference between a household that survives pressure and one that cracks under it is almost never how much money they make. It's whether anyone was watching the margin before it disappeared.